and welcome to another episode of the Fleekazoid podcast. I decided that from here on out, the Fleekazoid podcast is on season 2. The Fleekazoid podcast is getting a rebrand, so peep the new cover. So cute, so cute. And I also decided that today's episode is going to be a personal life update one, with, of course, intentions to make all the other episodes not super directly personal like today's. So if you're one of those girls who's wondering, what the hell is up? Like, where have you been? What have you been doing? Where are you now? Or maybe you even want like a Scorpio update because you're that invested in all the episodes. Today's for you. Because I think some people are invested in my personal life and I owe it to them to spill my own tea. And I like spilling my own tea, so I really don't give a fuck. I will take this quick moment to say that that man has not been unblocked since the last podcast episode. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's move on. Today might not be the therapy podcast that you are looking for, but I will make some future topics down the road that might be. So maybe you're just somebody who wants to, tune out from your own thoughts today, or maybe you just need some brouhaha playing in the background. That's today's episode. And I don't think I've ever done anything like this before, so I feel a little weird about it, but we're going in head first, and I'm going to talk about where the hell I've been. To my lovely time travelers watching from the future, it looks like the last episode that I uploaded was on May 5th, when really it was the one back in February. So it's been about 2 to almost 3 months of no podcast uploads on this channel. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo, woo, woo. I am for real. Yeah, like I really didn't know I was going to do that. And it wasn't planned at all. At some point after the February podcast episode, I want to say like a week or two after, TikTok had permanently banned my account, which I do have today. And I know it was an accident that it happened. I was unbanned after 2 days. But TikTok permanently banned my account. And one of my immediate suspicions was, oh my God, is it because I have sugaring content across my platforms? So if I had anything about sugaring, whether it was on my TikTok or my YouTube or even on my podcast, and it didn't look like something that was made in jest, or maybe it even had like a little too much attitude, I went and I removed it. I did it because I wanted to be safe, but some of the stuff actually wasn't that bad, and that was one of those episodes. And then I decided it's actually pretty educational and I should put it back up. So that's why that happened. But moving on, the question I've been getting across my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch is why? Why not post? Where have you been? What is the reason? I'm a very confused girl. It's really hard and kind of painful and awkward to change in front of a camera. And this all was happening during a period where I was starting to get extremely burned out. And when I say starting to get extremely burned out, I mean, girl, I've been burned out and I've been riding on one wheel and occasionally just feeling like good enough to just kind of like push something out. But for the most part, yeah, like the break was needed. It was necessary, and I was really fighting it off. I was putting it off because I had finally made this large stride as a content creator, and I was finally like getting on PR list, and it just got to this place where I was like, I'm so happy I'm here, but holy shit, what it took to get me here sucked the life out of me. In my downtime though, I was still making TikToks. However, it was coming from this place of like, I can't just fully stop. I can't afford to fully stop. And because I didn't fully stop, I did grow on Instagram. I reached 10K, yay. But I was showing up because I was like, I don't want to lose followers and I don't want my PR people to stop sending me PR. So I just put out some shit. I put out some shit that I wasn't fully excited about, and I was just kind of pulling shit out my. And on top of me making these lazy girl TikToks, I'm also not feeling inspired by TikTok. I fell into a depression. But I don't want you guys to feel bad for me or to feel like, oh my God, that's so sad. No, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's really not a big deal. I feel like every content creator ends up taking like 3 months or like even like half of a year off. It happens. If a TikTok sucks, whatever, it's just a TikTok, like I can delete it. But if I put out a podcast episode and I feel like it's not the best thing ever, yeah, I don't know. This feels like a library to me. Like sometimes I go back and listen to my own episodes, and I would rather have something that I could re-listen to 100 times rather than have like 100 things to listen to. On top of my burnout and my fatigue, your girl was doom scrolling, taking in some of the most worst news that has been taking place these last 3 months. And then I'm also kind of feeling like a little bit disconnected from my audience, because now I'm not this person who's reeling over a breakup. I'm this person who's accepting singledom and accepting being alone, and who's kind of realizing like, oh, I've been really like men focused this last few months. So that was life in early February through March. Now, April through May has a different tune to it. First of all, if I want to make relationship content or I have something to say, I'm not going to not post it just because I feel like, oh, I'm centering men. No, if I feel like I have something of value and something that could help other people out or make them laugh, I'm going to share that with my people. But moving on. Okay, the Scorpio dealio. Actually, girls, we're good. One of the problems before was that he kept evading the block and trying to be on and off. And this time he finally respected all 19 of the blocks that I put him on. And he hasn't tried to breach it. So it's been 3 months of peace and silence. I just want to get to the part of my mental stage where I completely forget everything that ever happened in this dynamic and everything that has to deal with this dude. Like, I just want to get to a place where I don't even remember his horrible behavior as dusty examples. But then again, dusties are so traumatizing. It's like those things really do stick with me for years. Have you ever had the end of a relationship or situationship or just a breakup, especially over text, and the guy goes, best wishes, I wish you well in life, I wish you the best, as if you're being fired from a job? That's literally what he would do. And then he would try to come back into my life like anywhere from a week to 2 months after. So naturally, I would assume if you were to turn around and ask him this question, I don't know if this would pretend to be grateful or if he would be like, oh, so toxic, so awful, so she posted me online on her TikTok like every day. And yeah, I know this makes me look bad, but guilty as charged. The trauma that this man put me through inspired advice and content that led to me gaining an additional 200,000 TikTok followers in 2021. I will say, though, it is really funny because I remember when he met me, he was like, oh, you're going to have to stop posting sugar content now that you're dating me. And my rule of thumb is to never let a man control the type of content that you make or the way that you present online. It's not worth it. I've done it. I've been there. No, fuck that. But then the ending came about of like the love bombing, right? And I was all in my emotions, and then I was just sad. I had all my little dopamine spiked up and then ripped away. And because I was hurt and I was upset, that's the only type of content that I wanted to make. So inadvertently, without this guy being in my life or being a direct influence telling me what type of content to make, I did end up steering away from sugar content. During a time when I was like, there's no way in hell I'm ever gonna stop making content for sugar babies. And it ended up making me more commercial to brands. So that's the wild part. Like, I'm absolutely not grateful for him as a man and his existence on this earth as a man. But without him being so trifling, so problematic, so toxic, would I have been able to do that? Who the knows? And if it wasn't him, would it have been someone else? But I think at the end of the day, I would have gained those 200,000 TikTok followers that the content brought me all by myself. I think it would have happened eventually because I believe in me like Kanye believes in Kanye without supporting any of the other crazy that Kanye does. As of today, though, I am emotionally removed from the situation, and I do want to make a podcast episode about how I personally got to that place. But not like a step-by-step guide, just how it happened for me. But ideally, I would like to stop using this man as an example. I would like to stop even referencing the Scorpio. I just feel like he's officially a dead bird in the room. Like, girl, he smells now. We need to stop. This body needs to be laid to rest. It needs to go. But if there's a perfect example, if there's a situation I can immediately call back to, I'm not going to hold back. As far as where I'm at right now, I'm honestly not even making myself available as a dating prospect, but I wouldn't write it off. So let's move on. So where have I been? At home, living my life. Kind of sad because of the news, but also kind of making a little bit of content here and there on TikTok. Why was I gone? Well, I guess we're soul searching and we're confused and we're redefining ourselves and we're finding our confidence again. Outside of the questions with the Scorpio, I guess the next thing is what's next for me? Like, what's the trajectory? I feel like 2021, season 1 of the podcast, was tracking the journey and the experience of myself coming down from a sugar crash from sugar dating. I also think that it was tracking my entry or well, re-entry into the dating scene as like a late 20-year-old and somebody who's coming into this like post-vaccination quarantine dating space. And the thing is that like I'm not the main character in this situation. This is something that we were all dealing with. So suddenly we're dealing with all new levels of boy behavior because like all the dudes who discovered red pill and these like incel terminologies like okay, anyways, let's move on. I don't want to spread man hate today, but we know what it is because we went through it. Anyways, there was a heavy focus on re-entering the dating scene. There was a heavy focus on being a little bit defensive. I would like to expand the narrative because my situation really went full circle, like entering the dating scene, having dating drama, dealing with like certain types of characters, and then the inevitable blocking and full on restarting of life after removing them from our lives. The next phase for me from here for 2022 season 2, I would like to speak on topics that carry on the same trend as season 1, things that relate to my life, things that are like a sign of where I am currently. And that is, drum roll, not being on dating apps, but this is another episode to unpack. Same thing with like talking about how women aren't these like harpy shrews just because we live our lives without the pursuit of a constant relationship. Like when I say pursue, I mean, I'm not actually making it easier for men to come find me. I really want the focus of season 2 to center around the idea that we can be single and that is okay. We can make it to the age of 30 without being married, and that is okay. In fact, it might even be ideal, but I really want to keep it away from man hating if possible, even though they make it really tempting and really easy to do sometimes. We're going to try to not go there. It might end up going there, though. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. And if any of that just made your butthole curl up and made you think, oh my God, that sounds weird. Oh my God, that's not right. Oh my God, that's unnatural. We're going to get to the heart of that. I would also like season 2 to talk about some current events. Ideally, I still want it to feel like season 1 where all the episodes are connected. I don't want it to be as jarring as Euphoria season 1 was compared to Euphoria season 2, but it is going to be different. There is going to be a different undertone. But because it is still going to be based on my life, the rest is still unwritten. Yes, we don't know where it could go. But I want the undertone to be lighthearted. I want it to be fun. I want it to be educational. And I don't want it to be heavy on your shoulders. People were telling me like some of the episodes were intense and I had to pause and take a break. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. Because I've had that experience with podcast episodes. And while I do feel better off for having listened to the entire episode, I want it to be a good time. So ideally, I would like it to lean in towards that if possible. But of course, if I have something helpful and informative, I'm not going to cock block my audience from it. I'm going to share that. And I'm a messy bitch who lives for drama, so I will probably be spilling my own tea because I hate having secrets. So that's the episode for today. I know it's really short, but I did want to address the frequently asked questions and provide some answers. Sorry if this seems like a me episode, but I promise I know exactly what I'm doing. I promise I know how to do it. And I am excited to do it. Like, yay, new season. Woohoo. I'm really looking forward to continuing this podcast. And I'm so glad that I have so many more listeners now this year compared to last year. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. In normal fashion, I will be uploading this episode onto the official Fleekazoid YouTube channel. So if you guys have any comments on the episode or any of my episodes, you can leave them directly on there and you can give me feedback, which I would love to hear. So please do it. And if you have not rated my podcast ever before in the history of like Apple and Spotify, leave me 5 stars, please, preferably. I would be so grateful. And it helps spread Fleeksy supremacy. Thank you for watching, listening, supporting, and for being patient with me. Bye guys, see you soon.